Bursting the bubble on infections. I would request that you listen to this video with an open heart, and only if it resonates with you as truth, believe it. Otherwise, please discard it. I would like to explain to you about how we do get ill through infections. That can be through viruses, bacteria, or fungi. All organisms that we can't see with the naked eye, that is. So take a deep breath in and allow yourself to listen with your heart now. We have several billion more microorganisms in and on our body than human cells. Everywhere. On our skin, inside our body, in the air, up our noses, yes, everywhere. Did you also know that on our skin we have the bacteria Staphylococcus aureus, or better known as Staph aureus, that is responsible for our acne? We also have in our gut E. coli, which we live harmoniously with, but it's been known to give a bad tummy occasionally. Okay, so before you start looking around and thinking, what am I trying to say? Let me explain that we live in harmony with all these organisms, and there are many benefits to living with them. On a larger scale, we can see how we are coexisting with Earth and the animals on the planet. Everything exists in harmony. And you hear this all the time. So, our bodies are no different. And there are many benefits of these organisms that you will hear about in our environment, like using them to make yogurt, cheese, or breaking down organic matter in soil to create nutrients. But here we are focusing on the body, and we live symbiotically with these organisms. Okay, so let's have a look at how we get sick. If some of these organisms already live in our body. Starting with the germ theory founded by Louis Pasteur, holds that bacteria and viruses are the cause of disease. We have all grown up with this belief and have always been told this. But let's take another look at this here. Here's you, a wonderfully healthy you. You are energy, as we know with quantum physics, and we can go down to the cell state and deeper till DNA, and there is only energy. Even further than that is just energy. The same with everything around us and in us, like the microorganisms. So what happens that suddenly we get ill with an infection? I like to explain it like this. We are like a light bulb that is just light and energy. We have a certain frequency or vibration that is resonating in tune with our environment. Say something happens to shock us. Could be a small or big incident in your life. And because of existing or collective belief systems, we perceive the world in a certain way. This would result in you being out of harmony with your environment. Imagine this as being a darker area in your energy field, which we said was the light bulb. I would like to add here that I only say darker not as a bad thing, but just to bring in contrast. Okay, so now imagine that the microorganism that you were originally in harmony with begins to resonate with this area. Or in the case of an organism that is not in your body, they begin to recognize and fit with this changing vibration in you, as everything is energy. If we continue to stay in a state of disharmony, the organism will eventually show up on a physical level as an infection. Okay, so you see this is different. By continuing this state of disharmony, it manifests then on a physical level. This is in no way to play the blame game. No, not at all. In fact, the other way was playing the blame game already, in that we have been told that we're prone to get colds if someone around us has one. We all know this one. We know that all around us and in our cultural beliefs, we've been ingrained with the fact that when someone has an infection, we have fear put in that we will be ill too. But the minute we have the fear, we are in disharmony. And then we know when in disharmony, we then are attracting that same resonance or vibration to us. We are here to live in harmony. That is the story here. If we do get an infection, we can bring to awareness what our body is telling us. That we were in disharmony and had the darker area in this light bulb or energy field. This is not to in any way be belittling infections, as some can be very serious, but to just allow you to understand it is not about blame. It is about awareness. On the other hand, if you get an infection, I like what Hippocrates had to say, that diseases are crises of purification, of toxic elimination. So, again, it is a way to purge out, to allow for the light bulb to shine again. It is cleansing. We feel somehow renewed once we get over a cold, having had the elimination process occur. Here's a quote by Andreas Moritz that says it well. Most doctors assume that the germs come from the outside, but this assumption is unproved and was even disputed by Louis Pasteur himself, who invented the germ theory. As the brilliant scientists Béchamp and Anderlein demonstrated, these germs are created inside the cells in response to the presence of toxic waste material that the body is unable to remove. They may also attach themselves to other weak, undernourished cell tissue, particularly cells that suffer from poor oxygenation. Their purpose is to decompose these damaged, weak cells. I know there are many infections like meningitis or AIDS, etc., that can be extremely dangerous. And of course, awareness is not going to resolve them. Of course, we need to take medical advice and follow through with that. And yes, cleanliness, hygiene is extremely important in all infections. I am not at all minimizing this. But here I would like to mention Robert Koch, who founded the germ theory along with Pasteur. One of Koch's critics was so convinced that the germ theory was wrong that he drank a glass of water laced with Vibrio cholerae. The bacteria that Koch believed caused cholera. The man survived. Science is also ambiguous about its claim that HIV virus causes AIDS, because it can't explain why some individuals that have been infected with the AIDS virus for many decades do not express the disease. My aim here was to bring awareness to the fact that we are not victims to these organisms, but here to live in harmony with them. We need not live in fear of having the next flu. I like what Dr. Emmanuel Churaskin says. It is time to lay to rest the notion that germs jump into people and cause disease. I am aware that this is a simplistic view, but maybe it will help us to move away from fear into being empowered into our own inner health. Thank you for listening with your heart.